Hello everyone and welcome into the channel. My name is Brent. I lost my job earlier this year in February of 2025, but I didn't just survive. I now make over $7,000 a month from multiple income streams. These are 5 simple wealth building strategies that I use to do it, and I'm going to show you exactly how I stack them up. And in this video, we're going to go ahead and go over how I replaced my job income, 5 smart wealth building strategies. So you don't need a raise, you just need a plan. And this is something that I've been implementing for the last 10 or so years. That is here for, to 2025, where I can fully implement it after being laid off here in February, right? So again, if you guys are brand new here to the channel, would really appreciate if you guys go down below, give this video a big old thumbs up, subscribe if you would like, if you guys find this video helpful, and let's go ahead and get into the introduction. So my investing journey, back in 2013, I arrived back into the States, having got out of the military, and I got into a help desk position. After basically doing help desk in the military, I started out about $15 an hour and worked my way up into my recent tech position where I was making anywhere from $35 to $40 an hour. But recently, as of February of 2024, I got laid off. So I had to redo my investing and strategy to overcome that loss of income. So since the loss of my W-2 income, I transitioned a number of investments that I have been running since 2019 up until now to be more income oriented. So this is how I generate roughly $7,200 of monthly income by real estate, dividends, and other automation strategies, which we'll go ahead and touch on just a few. So these are my 5 real strategies, no fluff, of how I generate income that is able to cover my monthly expenses. So here I went ahead and broke it down. So far as of June 2025, my rental income makes up 48% of my revenue, or before taxes and expenses, right? My dividend income is 38.8, and the miscellaneous piece, that 13.2%, that's any sort of YouTube. I have only one YouTube channel that's currently monetized. That is my gaming YouTube platform. That is not this one. I have affiliates, website, blogging, any number of miscellaneous things that's generating income. These things, while they're 13.2% right now, those things are slowly growing, which we'll go ahead and cover here in a moment. So strategies, number 1 will be prioritizing cash flow. Right now, my real estate monthly income as a revenue, right? This is before taxes and any sort of expenses, is $3,500. There's still quite a few expenses that come out of that. There's my property manager. There's any sort of maintenance that I need to do there on a monthly basis. There's the mortgages that it's attached to there. So while it is $3,500 a month of revenue, after expenses, it could be roughly anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500 a month left over after having paid out the mortgages and all that stuff, right? Dividends, on the other hand, dividends, I was able to transition a large portion of my portfolio. Well, not transitioning over, I transitioned about 50% or so, just enough that I was able to cover the other portion that I kind of needed on a month-to-month basis. So this generates roughly $2,829.67 right now on a monthly basis. And then other sort of income that I'm currently generating is from YouTube, affiliates, ads on any sort of apps, blogging. There's a number of items out there that I use, digital downloads and such. So right now I'm really focusing on building up different cash flow items because, cash flow is equal to freedom, not just paper gains, right? Anytime you're able to increase that cash flow, whether it's $50, $100, and you're able to maintain it, that just goes forward, being able to be reinvested back into the portfolio, increasing not so much the rental income, because the rental income is essentially kind of fixed at the moment and can vary per month as far as the net goes, but dividend income and my miscellaneous income can increase there. That's why I kind of included the plus, because right now that rental income is essentially static. I charge X amount of rent per month, and that comes in, and then the expenses are detracted from that. On the other hand, any sort of dividend, the income that I receive, that I'm able to cover my expenses and have remaining left over, gets reinvested back into the portfolio, generating future dividend income, and also miscellaneous stuff such as my YouTube, my affiliates. That can fluctuate quite a bit, but for the most part, I've averaged about $950 to $1,000 on average per month over the last 6 months or longer from that. And that is just a growing portion because my gaming YouTube channel is able to generate income. Eventually, when I get this one back to being monetized, that'll begin to kind of creep up as well and just begin to grow and grow, right? Number 2 strategy here is automate weekly investing. Right now, every Thursday for the past 5 or so weeks, we have been depositing $25 into our auto investment platform over on SoFi in order to grow and build out the $1,000 investment challenge. By doing this automatically, it removes any sort of emotions. It's consistently building up. Now, I think I started this back in either May or potentially April of 2025. I'll have a pinned comment down below which will have the playlist to this. But if you go back to the episode 1, it kind of shows us that we started with $50 in the account. That is by opening up a SoFi investment account. You get a bonus of $25. I deposited $25, meant our base was $50. And then as of that date, I've been consistently adding $25 into the account, $25, right? And building up over the course of the last month or two. And right now, as of today, when recording this video, the portfolio is sitting at $282.72. You can see here that it has, in the last month, it's increased by 2.68%, or roughly $7.38. This is something I can show my son, which has about $600 in his bank at the moment. And I can show him like, hey, while in the past year to date so far, your bank account has got interest of anywhere from like $2 to $3. Here, this platform, I've only invested underneath $300, but already over the past month, it's been able to generate $7.38 in gain. So this is something to kind of help him the benefits of investing, not only on a weekly basis, but just kind of stay consistent in investing long term and just taking the emotions out of it. So number 2 strategy right there was building and automating weekly investments. Now, strategy number 3 is have a plan. And right now, my real estate with the plan has been that the rentals don't run themselves. It's definitely really worth it to know your numbers, know your cash flow versus trying to speculate how much you're going to be making. Factor in repairs, vacancies, property managers. 10% of the rent is going to go towards the property management, but that's going to save me a lot of time getting calls and having to set up repairs and reaching out to this and that vendor, right? So it helps a ton. With vacancies, I have very little vacancies outside of the unnormal activities that could happen on a day by day. I've also factored in repairs over the past few years, making sure that I wanted to fully update and repair my building. So here on the left-hand side, this is back when I purchased this property back in 2019. It was pretty run down at the time. Did put quite a bit of work into it before renting it out. You can see here the difference between before I bought the property and after I bought the property. There's a notable difference, right? Quite a bit difference, right? I redid the siding, painted it, redid the roofing. 2024 wasn't all that great, but after having done quite a bit of the repairs here in 2025, it's been completely cash flow and everything's great. Now, number 4 strategy here is reinvest all passive income in any excess cash that I do not need on a monthly basis. Gets reinvested back in, whether that is dividends or rental income, right? I always have a static amount of cash that's available within my rental business. So that never decreases past a certain point. But all the excess cash that I have gets automatically rolled back in and begins to compound over time. So for example here, I wanted to include this little, this is from trackyourdividends.com. As of losing my job, some ways I was able to get over that hump of not having a W-2 income was by transitioning a portion of my portfolio to dividend income. So in this example, I transitioned a good chunk of cash over to SPYI. This had a yield of around 13 to 14% at one point when the market came down. So I was able to buy quite a bit and was able to reinvest while the market was low. And the companion over time has had a good result. You can see here that over the past few months, my average was about $2,594 when I started, and it's been averaging at that. But all the cash that I have excess per month, like if I get paid out dividends and I pay all my expenses for the month and I don't need, I have $1,000 or some left over that I don't need, I can reinvest that capital, those dividends, those income that I've generated back into my portfolio, buying back more shares, which in the next month increases my next month's income by anywhere from $20, $40, $100, right? So here I can see that I started an average about $2,594, but right now my highest dividend payout is going to be $2,830. And that's going to be consistent going forward from here. And then the next month, when I have excess capital, I'll buy back more shares. And the next month will increase and increase and increase, right? And then my other incomes that are not so static, such as YouTube and affiliates, if those are able to grow as well and I don't need the capital, I'm able to reinvest that capital and build up my passive income from dividends as well. Now, this sort of investment won't be something that I'm using long term. As I'm able to grow out my other YouTube channels and other means of income, right? Then I could slowly transition this portfolio back down where I don't need the income from dividends and still, I don't want to be extra taxed, right? So there'll be a fine fluctuation of where I can sell off a good portion of SPYI, put it back into something long term that doesn't pay out income, that doesn't get taxed as income, and it could just be long-term capital growth instead of income, right? So there's a fine line right there. Right now, I'm needing the specific income to pay expenses and continue to grow that income, but eventually as that miscellaneous income begins to grow and I can decrease some of the dividend income to kind of make it balance out, right? That's kind of my plan at the moment with reinvesting all sort of passives towards that passive income. And dividends is one of the truest forms of passive income because it's very consistent and it's reliable. Strategy number 5 is track everything, right? Track everything. I use SoFi. I can input all my different bank accounts. I can link it to everything, but it essentially tells me income, shows me my expenses, and shows me my savings after the month, how much I was able to save from my income after all my expenses were covered. And it really does a really good job of kind of showcasing. It also shows my credit score right on the platform, shows my net worth. So it's a really nice all-in-one platform. Also, budgeting leads to investing. So by budgeting and knowing where my money is going on a month-to-month basis has been really good as well, because then I'm able to track the excess capital that I do not having to use, and I can deposit that into my investment account, let that mature and grow with the market, let it pay out those dividends, let it pay the expenses that I need for the month, and then I'll redeposit it back in and then reinvest it and continue on that path, right? I could also use a spreadsheet. I use quite a bit of spreadsheets. So I use Google Spreadsheets myself, and I have a bunch of spreadsheets similar to this. This is just an example one that I went ahead and used for this example. And then another thing here that I've been doing over the past few months is going through our garage, going through our house, right? And selling any number of unused items that I do not need or the kids do not need. Any sort of unused items that you do not need over like a certain number of period, right? If there's an item that you haven't used in over a year, do you really need it? Just kind of taking up room, taking up space. It could be definitely sold off, and then that capital could be reinvested into your portfolio. So that is strategy number 5, tracking everything. Bonus content. Create content around everything that you do. Create content around everything around it. Share your journey online, whether it's on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, right? Blogging. An example is this video here. I'm creating a video on the topic of how I've been able to transition from my 9 to 5 to straight social media, right? Or online journey. So I'm able to create content around how I've transitioned. While it may not be beneficial to the viewer today, right now, it could be beneficial to them in the future, whether they go through the same thing that I've gone through here in 2025, or just plant the idea of, hey, maybe transitioning a good portion of my my portfolio in the future to a dividend income style could be an interesting way to cover expenses if, anything were to happen in the future. Or maybe I will build up a rental portfolio to help offset some expenses in the future. These are things that I've been working on for the past 10 or so years. That way, here in 2025, I don't have the super stressed out about where I'm going to be generating my income and how I'm going to be covering my expenses, because that's all kind of set now, and I can focus on areas that I want to focus on for myself. I can spend time with my children who are now 5 and 10. We're going out camping tomorrow, so we're going to be out of town. And we just got back from our trip in Maui, so I don't have to ask my 9 to 5, hey, I would like to take some PTO and go travel, right? We did 2 weeks in Maui. We're going to the beach, going traveling. And eventually, I'd like to create another YouTube channel, which will go over the not the financial, not the gaming, but doing things out and about. So I'm not sure 100% of how that channel will be focused on, but that again will just be working on building up a community, creating another possible income stream, kind of showcasing in here. And we'll cover this data in just a minute, but if this video has helped you in any way, definitely drop a comment down below letting me know and saying hello. Also, drop a comment as far as what your top wealth strategy would be if you were to pick a number 6, right? I would really appreciate any sort of interaction you guys drop down below. So here in 2025, after February, that's when I really began to get into YouTube quite a bit. You can see here in January, I made a couple videos as to where I've been for the past 2 years, but it wasn't until after February and in April, that I really began to push out content. So here, this is my financial channel. I got 5,810 subscribers. It hasn't been building as much, right, as my other channel, but it's definitely done well. It's got 18,000 views, 841 watch time, and 21 subscribers. This thing is coming out of the graveyard right now. It hasn't done anything in the past 2 years, and finally I'm making content. So YouTube's trying to figure out, hey, you've been making content for the last 5 or so months. We're really trying to get what kind of content you're making, who to target your audience, who's your audience, where to target it from, do. And then my other channel here, this is my gaming channel. Your videos got 96,000 views so far in 2025. That's an increase of 105% more than last year in 2024, where I wasn't making a whole lot of content. I got about 80 new subscribers over on that channel. That channel has 3,430 subscribers. And you can see here, it wasn't until April or so where I started pumping out content on that channel. And now I'm really focused. I have a strategy here. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm going live streams on my gaming channel. Then I'm making clips afterwards of all the highlights of my, the live stream, questions and stuff like that. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays, when I'm available here, I'm also dropping videos here on my financial channel on a weekly basis. That's going to stick to my schedule, right? Monday through Friday, I'm making content online, and I've set up different strategies to kind of help me stay consistent with it. So that is the bonus content piece right there. So final thoughts here. These 5 strategies have definitely helped me stay consistent, especially after being laid off. There's no magic. There's no sort of, special sauce right there. It's just momentum. Wealth building is all about staying consistent and not being too complex. Cash flow and tracking equals long-term success. I wouldn't be able to reinvest my income after expenses back in if I wasn't tracking and monitoring how much I would need to keep in order to keep everything flowing, right? So it's a very fine-tuned design. So as a challenge to you guys, try one of these in the next week. Try and create a budget for yourself. See where your guys' income and expenses are. Deposit $25 into your own investment account. Or if you guys are depositing much more than that, then congratulations to you. Track your growth on a week-by-week, month-by-month basis. While I have lost my job in February 2025, my net worth has continued to grow because of my rentals, because of my investments. It just steadily grows despite, spending expenses throughout the month. I still have any number of capital left over, which is able to be invested and then generate additional income throughout the next month, right? So it's just been staying consistent. So as my little slogan says here, Start small, stay consistent, build wealth. Track your progress, invest weekly, and stay motivated. That is it. If you guys would like to join the $1,000 challenge, you guys can definitely sign up down below. You'll get a free investment tracker. If you click on the link down below, you sign up. You'll be forwarded to a page where you can track the investment tracker, which just kind of showcases, depositing $25 a week, and then you can begin to grow along with me. The links will be down in the description or in the pinned comment down below. So that'll be it for today's video. If any of these strategies stood out to you, just try one this week. Start small, track your progress, and build your momentum. And if you would like to join the $1,000 challenge, as I had said, grab the free tracker in the description and let's build out together. If this video has helped you out, definitely go down below, give this video a big old thumbs up, subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next video.